Yeah, we back. Now, today's video is going to be a follow-up video to the ones I dropped over the past weekend entitled Ibrahim Traore received 60 million euros to liberate the French secret agents. And up at the top, French media reacts to Ibrahim Traore receiving 60 million euros for the French spies. Now, in that video, I was reacting to an article that came out in a French publication by the name of Le Monde. As we already know, Le Monde, a very well-known newspaper going back 80 years in France. And recently, over the past week, they had ran an exclusive story on these 4 French secret intelligence agents that were arrested in Burkina Faso for over a year and recently were released from captivity. Now, in those previous videos, that was pretty much my on-the-spot reaction, but I didn't really get into my analysis after I was able to meditate on the situation, because I don't think we understand the gravity of the situation. Obviously, the biggest piece of information that came out in that article was the fact that Ibrahim Traore received 60 million euros as well as military equipment that was handed over. But as I was sitting back and I was thinking earlier today, I was thinking, to be honest, man, this should be the #1 story, the #1 trending story around the world, bro. Everybody should be talking about this story right here. This is one of the craziest stories in modern history, bro. Think about it, right? So the time period is like December 2023, right? So Ibrahim Traore had just recently kicked out the French military, kicked out the French ambassador. You know, he told the French it's time to leave, right? And then later on in that same year, you have 4 French secret agents, 4 French intelligence agents that is confirmed that were members of the DGSE, the French equivalent of the CIA. They tried to sneak into the country around December 2023, right? No visas, no proper documentation, no respect for the country, right? And they come posing as some computer repairmen, some computer technicians coming to fix something down at the embassy, right? Now, for whatever reason, the security personnel, the military personnel down in Burkina Faso felt suspicious about these 4 Frenchmen roaming around the country. So they came to their hotel, arrested them at their hotel, confiscated their belongings, went through their cell phones. Then when they went through their cell phones, they found photos of sensitive sites in the country. Now, the article didn't specify what those were, but I gave my assumptions in the video, right? Maybe government buildings, military installations, the layout of certain streets in certain areas in case, I guess, if they want to launch an attack. I'm only just speculating, but they said they had photos of sensitive sites in the country. And not only that, but in their cell phones, they had contacts in regions under tight security, right? Now, when I heard regions under tight security, the first thing that comes to my mind is the regions that are occupied by the terrorist groups, right? So you in contact with those in regions under tight security and you taking photos in the capital of sensitive areas. Obviously, by this time, they were arrested by the authorities. But then in the article, they talk about all the different methods and strategies that the French government employed to try to rescue those 4 agents, right? They tried to go through the president of Togo. It didn't work, right? Ibrahim Traore said, listen, I want $150 million and I want the extradition of all my political opponents that's hiding in France. Then, if you remember in the article, they had mentioned how France was drawing up a strategy to invade the country and launch an attack from the sky, right? Launching an air assault from a neighboring country in order to rescue those 4 agents. But in the article, they said that they backed out of the plan for the armed intervention because the political and the human risk in their mind were far too great. Now, that's what I want to talk about, right? When they said that the risks were far too great for an armed intervention in Burkina Faso, you got to think currently right now, France is on a rehabilitation tour. They're trying to repair their image, right? That's why they're going around apologizing to Senegal, right? Going around, apologizing, trying to make amends with different African nations, trying to reorganize the relationship and say, we are here to be your partner. We are here for mutual benefit, right? They're really trying to, rehabilitate their image in the minds of the people because they know their image and reputation is really in a very low state at the current moment. Anti-French sentiment is very high and it's been high for a number of years now consecutively. And what is the narrative based around that anti-French sentiment, right? France is viewed as a foreign power that is constantly intervening in our affairs and not respecting our sovereignty. So you could imagine how that could have backfired heavily for France if they had launched an armed intervention against Burkina Faso. That would have validated everybody's thoughts and feelings. But not only that, but it would have cemented the power of the military governments because the population would have been right behind them because they would have galvanized the people. They would have been like, see what they did? See, they're attacking our country. They're attacking our people. They're killing our people. That would have galvanized the military governments, right? So it would have backfired heavily for France. And then you got to keep in mind when it comes to the AES, it's not just you attacking Burkina Faso and that's going to be that. No, you attack Burkina Faso, by extension, you also attack Mali. By extension, you also attack Niger. So not only is Burkina Faso going to be busting back at you, but also the military personnel from Mali and Niger is going to be coming from over the border and busting back at you simultaneously. So you're not just going to war against Burkina Faso, you're going to war against the whole Sahel, right? The whole goddamn Sahel damn near. And then you got to keep in mind where the 4 French intelligence agents were being detained. They were in the upscale district with the villas and the apartments, right? So you're going to launch a military operation in the middle of the city, right? In the middle of the upscale district, right? Launching an air assault. What, you going to launch an airstrike in the middle of the goddamn district? So it's like, what was you about to do? You just going to parachute down in the middle of the street, in broad daylight? What was you about to do for real? It was definitely going to be some innocent civilians that got killed by accident. It would have been inevitable, right? So then on top of that, you got to deal with the civilian casualties, right? They would have been like, France came to our country and they killed our people, right? Imagine you would have killed some children. Oh man, it would have really went bad on you, right? You would have killed, a little girl or something. Oh man, it would have been real bad for you in terms of the media, the scandal in the media. Oh man. And then you got to explain why you were even in the country in the first place. Why did you launch this attack? Oh, we had to rescue our 4 intelligence agents that were detained. Why were they detained? Why were they in the country in the first place? How come they didn't have a visa? Why were they taking pictures? Why were they talking to men in regions under tight security? It would have been a whole scandal, a whole fiasco. It would have been terrible for the French government in terms of PR, in terms of their image, in terms of diplomatically. It would have been a disaster all the way around. And then on top of that, they had already said that Burkina Faso was already militarily preparing itself for a military invasion. And by extension, Mali and Niger was also on high alert also. So it would have been it would have ended tragically if France really decided to put a trigger on a military invasion. I think that was wisdom on their part to back up and relax, right? I think that was wisdom on their part. And in the end, a transaction of 60 million euros and military equipment was handed over in exchange for the French captives, right? The 4 French intelligence agents. And I think this story is one of the craziest stories in recent history, in modern history. Here you have 4 French intelligence agents, equivalent of the CIA, detained for over a year. And that story was kept under wraps for over a year. They kept that low. That was not reported in the media. The Western media was not talking about it. Nobody was ringing the alarm about it. They only reported it the day it happened. 4 Frenchmen arrested, and nobody said a word about it in the media after then until they were released. That story was kept under wraps in a crazy way, right? Obviously, the DGSE put out an international memo. Please do not talk about this story. Please do not talk about this story. Nobody said a word about it. Everybody kept their mouth shut about the 4 French agents detained in Burkina Faso for over a year, in which a 60 million euro ransom was paid. That was crazy, bro. Now, if you ask me, one of the reasons that the Western media is completely silent on this topic is because they don't really want to expose the fact that you actually have a black nation that actually outmaneuvered a so-called powerful Western nation diplomatically on the international stage, where France tried to launch a clandestine intelligence operation in Burkina Faso. Not only were you caught red-handed, but we had your mans detained for over a year, right? And you had to go in that checkbook and you had to pay $60 million cash, 60 million euros cash, 15 million euros a piece for each agent. Yeah, and on top of that, military equipment was also handed over. So not only do I need that 60 million, but I also need send them guns over too. Yeah. I need some of that equipment too, Playboy. Yeah, I need that. Send that ASAP pronto. Send it right next to the cash. Send the cash and send the guns at the same time in the same shipment. And here you have one of the craziest international diplomatic scenarios in recent history. Like, imagine there was some CIA agents detained in the middle of a random country for over a year, right? They couldn't get them out. And then the US government goes in the goddamn state coffers and then hands over the money. Not only hands over the money, but hands over military technology simultaneously. That would be one of the craziest stories ever. But that's exactly what happened right here between France and Burkina Faso, right? Between Emmanuel Macron and Ibrahim Traore, right? Emmanuel Macron was launching clandestine undercover intelligence operations trying to spy on the administration of Ibrahim Traore. Now, can you believe that, bruh? Can you listen, Ibrahim Traore is not bothering nobody. He's minding his business. But Emmanuel Macron, all the way in Paris, bro, done sent some random agents to the country to gather intelligence and spy on the boy. Like, that is crazy, bro. That's crazy. The black man just minding his business, bro. The black man just minding his business, not bothering nobody. Here come the adversary coming around looking for trouble. This is crazy, bro. This is really crazy, the things we got to deal with as black men. It's really crazy out here, man. But anyways, that's what it is. Obviously, the Western media is silent on this topic. If you search it up, you can't really find, any, big news publications talking about this story of the 4 French agents detained in Burkina and liberated after a year. You're only going to find it really on, like I said, that French publication, but you got to go past a paywall, right? You have to pay money to get access to the article. So that's crazy in itself. So they really did a good job at really clamping down, making sure that this story does not gain traction. It does not gain steam. But it's one of the craziest stories in recent history. Anyways, it's your boy Never Salim back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the album. Peace.
Yeah, I'm focused on fortification. I'm trying to step out of the matrix. I'm finna be all in your playlist. The haters gon' look and amaze me. I'm taking my time and I'm patient. They tell me I make it look easy. I'm going and they never gon' reach me. I cut off my phone, I'm back on my zone. Yeah, I'm back on my own, the king of my castle and forging my own path. I'm back on the dawn, I know they be watching it lately. I'm pressing the gas. These niggas be clones, they selling they soul for currency. I be like, man, just leave me alone. Lil' mama, she look like a dancer. I'm back in my zone, I got hundreds and fifties. They treat me just like I'm a mess. I'm back in the city, I'm feeling imperial, plotting on power expansion. I can't show no love, I got pain in my heart, but I hide it when I'm on the camera. I'm young and I'm raising the standard, and I don't be doing no features. These niggas be talking about killing and robbing, I'm steady relaxing leisure. The spirit of kings, we never gon' die, we taking it back with the leaders. They came and invaded, the enemy raided and put all that shit in museums. Real talk, and I still can't believe it. I pull up and shine on them, I pull up and ride on them, I pull up and flex with the team, you know we gon' style on them. I'm cold like 7 degrees whenever I rhyme on them. This shit like COINTELPRO, my nigga they spine on us. Fuck how they feeling, I'm bossed up. Enemy finna get tossed up. Come on the block and then buy it up. Back in the biz, I'm riding up. I'm ready for war and they hiding out. I told the creator I'm riding out. They up in the crib and they popping out. I'm close to the limit, I've been in route. Yeah. Weight on my shoulders, it feel like a boulder. Ghost written by the kings, I decoded like high priest. Certified unrooted. I'ma get it till they tell me it's over. I'ma get it till I'm way up and noted. Meditated so I'm close to the God. Pretty soon we gon' be on the top. Yeah, I'm focused on fortification. I'm trying to step out of the matrix. I'm finna be all in your playlist. The haters gon' look and amaze me. I'm taking my time and I'm patient. They tell me I make it look easy. I'm going and they